Hello and thank you very much for visiting my podcast or watching it on YouTube. Today I wanted to explore the meaning of the first house and the rising sign in a different way. I see the first house as the portal through which our soul enters, here in the 3D. The first house is the vehicle that allows us to navigate reality. The sign where the cusp of the first house falls shows us the qualities we use to achieve our soul's purpose, to make our sun shine and our moon vibrate in a healthy way, and so on with the other planets. In other words, I do not see the rising sign as a mask that hides our true self, but as an enabler of these energies so that they can manifest within the physical reality. For example, if we have the sun in Taurus, we are talking about an individual who has come to explore slowness, manifestation, to connect with the instincts, to feel that they have a body, to be calm. If our ascendant is in Aquarius, the energy of our sun, our spirit, will present itself in physical reality as someone who has come to be him or herself, to express their uniqueness without fearing to become someone different. Basically, having the nerve to be at peace in their own lives, regardless if that's not traditional in their reality. With this combination, what we see is that this person has come to express their Taurus qualities regardless of the status quo. Our soul has chosen to be born through the Aquarian portal, to be ourselves, to be able to express freely. Of course, it does not mean that the road is easy. In fact, many times we are presented with challenges that in everyday life can be quite laborious. But at an energetic level or soul level, where everything seems to be seen in an impartial and highly logical way, those challenges are what we need to go through in order to discover who we really are. The sign of the ascendant indicates that our essential energy enters this world with certain qualities that will allow it to incarnate in the 3D with a clear intention. It doesn't modify the spirit of the self, but rather gives it a tool to navigate the reality in which we have been born. In other words, our essential being dresses in the qualities of the rising sign to deal with the reality in which it moves. The sun sign, rising sign combinations can be seen as a version of the self in two different planes. The sun shows us the qualities that represent our spirit, while the rising sign indicates the qualities we use to navigate reality. Another example, a person who has a Leo ascendant enters life invested with self-expression, warmth, generosity, and nobility. This doesn't mean that this person is a Leo. If you have the sun in Scorpio, your spiritual strength lights up in the shadows, in the dark, the mysterious, the psychological, the forbidden, and the taboo. Leo on the ascendant leads you to display these qualities in a way that is expressive, creative, benevolent, dramatic, and even joyful. If it were the other way around, a sun in Leo with the ascendant in Scorpio, the sun, the spiritual force of this individual, lights up with self-expression, creation, dignity, and light. Scorpio on the ascendant leads them to display these qualities in a mysterious, reserved, magnetic, and perhaps tormented way. When we look at the rising sign in this way, the contradictions that we can see with the naked eye between the sun sign and the rising sign disappear. We see that the self manifests in two dimensions that complement each other. If we look at it in a deeper way, we notice that there is a coherence within astrology, where each of the parts that shape the birth chart integrates with the whole in perfect harmony. Studying the planets according to their positions in the signs and the aspects between them gives us an idea of what our essential geometry is. By including the astrological houses, we discover how this essential energy is embodied in reality in the 3D world. For me, astrology allows us to see the process of the incarnation of the spirit on the material plane. The birth chart is a map that helps us understand the reality in which we were born. There, we also see the tools, gifts, and purposes we have to live a satisfying life. The birth chart is created through the date, time, and place of birth of an individual, which in some way reflects what I just mentioned. In other words, the birth chart is a representation of our journey through the 3D world. The planets, signs, and other astrological points are universal representations of cosmic energies, and the birth chart represents the individual construction of that universal set. The 12 houses show how the experience of physical reality is carried out. The first house and the rising sign shows us the entrance portal that our soul has chosen to begin this journey through the world of reality. Now I will explain how the energy of the first house is manifested through the signs. I see the sign of the Ascendant as a space suit that allows us to navigate the Earth, or at least gives us a theme to develop in our incarnation. I believe that our rising sign and the position of the 12 houses are not random, but that it is a conscious decision of our soul, strange as it may sound. I see that there is such a clear coherence when I study the birth charts that only a superior intelligence, a great cosmic consciousness can create that type of interfamilial, intersocial, and even intergenerational geometry. And especially for oneself, since it seems that whatever happens in our life, everything has a meaning, and each experience allows us to develop certain potentialities and consequently prosper both on earth and at a soul level. Or perhaps none of this is true, and actually the birth chart is a tool that has fallen from heaven for us not to navigate blindly through reality. In any case, this path through life leads us toward a certain mastery. Now, that mastery, what is it for? I don't know. I also don't know why we have a specific mission to follow, but the fact of seeing that coherence written in the birth chart and then verifying it with real life in a practical way tells me that there is something more than what we see, that there is an intention in the universe for everything that happens, and that's just magnificent, or at least curious. When our rising sign is in Aries, regardless of where the Sun is or the other planets that shape our essential energy, our being will express in a bold, courageous way. Going out to life is lived almost as a risk, something that we have to go out to defend, even to conquer. Our personality is assertive and spontaneous. When our rising sign is Taurus, regardless of where the Sun is and the set of our essential energy, our personality will present in a calm and slow way. We are going to take our time, taking one step at a time to recognize the terrain on which we walk, so we can feel it with all 5 senses and connect with our instinct. When our rising sign is Gemini, regardless of where the Sun is and the set of our essential energy, our personality will manifest in an adaptable way. It will use information, the exchange of ideas, sociability, intelligence, and humor to be able to express its totality. When our rising sign is Cancer, regardless of where the Sun is and the set of our essential energy, our personality will manifest in a maternal, protective way. We will seek to create a family environment to generate emotional security, not only for ourselves but also for our loved ones. If Leo is our rising sign, regardless of where the Sun is located and the set of our essential energy, our personality will manifest in an expressive, warm, generous, dramatic and authentic way. We will need to express our creativity freely and allow Leo's playful energy to manifest spontaneously. With Virgo as our rising sign, regardless of where the Sun is and the set of our essential energy, our personality will manifest in a methodical, orderly way. Feeling useful is important. We pay close attention to detail and put an emphasis on our skills. When our rising sign is Libra, regardless of where the Sun is and the set of our essential energy, our personality will manifest in a congenial way, seeking the relationship and reaching agreements. We will introduce ourselves in a gentle manner and give each other space during interactions. When our rising sign is Scorpio, regardless of where the Sun is and the set of our essential energy, our personality will manifest in a more mysterious, penetrating and magnetic way. We are going to present ourselves in a more reserved and sometimes even a little tormented fashion. When our rising sign is Sagittarius, regardless of where the Sun is and the set of our essential energy, our personality will manifest itself in a jovial and expansive way. We are going to show ourselves to be independent, adventurous, very frank, even smiling very often, and we can seem very exaggerated in our expressions. When our rising sign is Capricorn, regardless of where the Sun is and the set of our essential energy, our personality will manifest in a structured, serious, taciturn, and responsible way. We are going to not be very expressive and perhaps have an air of severity. When our rising sign is Aquarius, regardless of where the Sun is located and the set of our essential energy, our personality will manifest in a non-traditional way, and at the same time, we will identify with a social reality, form links with others, and create a network where one can feel part of something. And finally, when our rising sign is Pisces, regardless of where the planets are and what is the form of our essential energy, our personality will manifest in a dreamy and compassionate way. We identify with those who suffer and we will tend to be very empathetic. Of course, this needs further elaboration in order to have a clear vision of the integration between the rising sign, the Sun, and the other planets. I will do that in the future. I will also include it in the courses that I am preparing. However, I would like to add that many times we identify with the rising sign because it is what those who knows us see of us, at least in the first instance. That is the reason why many times we feel that we even have two personalities. Ours, the internal one, the one we know, and what others see. The image that others have of us responds to the relationship they have with the qualities that represent our rising sign. It is a subjective image that speaks more about them than about ourselves. However, because when we are very young, we don't have the necessary resources to understand this situation, we create a self-image based on the feedback of others towards our personality. When we connect with our sun and begin to feel it, because it is the sun that ignites our spirit, we understand that the rising sign unless it is the same sign as where our sun is located. It's simply the vehicle that our inner being uses to manifest in reality, a tool for incarnate within the 3D. Soon I will talk about the planets in the sign of the ascendant because they also give us a specific nuance to our personality. I am not gonna do it now because otherwise it's going to be very long. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube and to my podcast on Spotify. You can visit my website, paulalustenberg.com, where you can find much more information about astrology. In addition, also subscribe to Substack and you will receive on email articles about current astrological events, news, and other interesting things. So, thank you again for coming this far. Until next time.